Welcome to this training session on the mouse and keyboard module in Work. In this video, we'll build a complete mouse and keyboard automation workflow in Work from scratch. We'll begin by the Get Keyboard Identifier node. This node retrieves the active keyboard layout currently being used on the machine. Different countries and languages use different keyboard layouts, so the same physical key can behave differently depending on the active configuration. This node helps ensure keyboard automation works correctly across systems. This activity does not require any input configuration. The node returns an output called Keyboard Layout ID. This output stores the active keyboard layout identifier retrieved from the system, and it can later be used for validation, logging, or debugging keyboard automation issues. Now let's add the Get Mouse Position node. Inside the input section, we have the relative to drop-down with screen and foreground window. The available options determine how the mouse position should be calculated. In this example, we are using screen, which means the coordinates are captured relative to the entire screen. This node captures the current X and Y coordinates of the mouse cursor on the screen. These outputs store the current horizontal and vertical mouse coordinates and can be reused later in the workflow if needed. It helps us identify where the mouse is currently positioned before performing any movement actions. After that, we'll add the Move Mouse node. Here, we configure the cursor to move to the location. We'll enter the target X and Y coordinates and set the movement speed to low speed so the mouse movement is clearly visible during the demo. Once the mouse reaches the target area, we'll use the Send Mouse Click node. Inside the mouse event dropdown, we can choose different click types such as left click, right click, double click, etc. In this example, we're demonstrating a right-click action. We will automatically navigate to the agent name field and update the value from mouse to mouse and keyboard using keyboard actions. For that, we start configuring the keyboard interaction section of the workflow using the Press or Release key node. Inside the inputs of this node, the first option is Action to Perform. The available options here are Press and Release. Press simulates pressing and holding a key, while Release simulates releasing the key. In this workflow, we are using Press to trigger keyboard actions. Next, we have the modifier key options to use Control, Alt, Shift, etc. These options allow us to create keyboard combinations such as Control+C, Control+V, Shift+Tab, and Windows shortcuts. In this example, we are not enabling any modifier keys because we only want to send the Tab key individually. Next is the Key to Press input. This field determines which keyboard key should be triggered. We can enter values such as Tab, Enter, Space, Escape, etc. Here, we'll configure the node to press the Tab key. This helps move the cursor focus through the application interface until we reach the correct input field. To make the automation more stable and visually clear during execution, we'll add a wait node and set it to 1 second. Using wait times between keyboard actions is important because applications may need a short delay before processing the next input. Instead of manually creating the same set of nodes multiple times, we can simply copy and paste the Press or Release key node along with the Wait node. We'll duplicate these two nodes 4 times to repeatedly send the Tab key with a short delay. Once the cursor focus reaches the correct field, we'll modify the final Press or Release key node and change the key value from Tab to Enter. This activates the editable field for the agent name. Now let's add the Send Keys node. Inside the inputs, the first option is Send Keys to Target. The available target options include foreground window, UI element, window handle, etc. We will select foreground window. Depending on the target option selected, additional input fields can be configured. Inside the Text to Send property, we'll enter mouse and keyboard. This node simulates real keyboard typing and sends the text directly into the active field. In this example, we are updating the existing agent name from mouse to mouse and keyboard. You can also configure delay settings inside the Send Keys node if you want the typing to appear more natural or slower during demonstrations. Finally, we'll add one last press or release key node configured with the Enter key to confirm and save the updated agent name. At this point, the workflow is complete. Now, when we execute the automation, the workflow retrieves the keyboard identifier, captures the mouse position, moves the cursor to the target location, performs the mouse click, navigates using tab keys, activates the input field, types the updated agent name, and finally confirms the changes using the Enter key. This example demonstrates how multiple mouse and keyboard nodes can work together to automate realistic user interactions inside work. We have learned how to use mouse and keyboard nodes in Work Agent Builder. Continue exploring the platform to build more intelligent automation workflows.